like you have 5 starters at the end. The same deal this year? Do you feel like you have 5 starters? Just kind of break down what you're seeing.
Well, you know, we lost Tyler Friday right now, and that's makes it tough. So I thought we had 4 ends returning. Tyreke and Zach, and then Javonte Jean-Baptiste. Those are the 4 guys that really count on being the guys that lead. And then you've got to grab a couple of young guys to develop to be a part of that 5th unit. So we're not there yet. We're still in the development stage of that.
How close are Jack and JT to perhaps being in the rotation? Are they pretty far off?
You know, it's still a learning process. You know, I mean, it really is. You get to go play college football and be ready to play in the first game and big time game. There's some growing pains they have to go through. They're working at it. I'm really happy where they are right now in terms of where their work is. The great work have is a great student of the game. So it's time. It's going to take time.
Just one more for me. Defensive tackle. Can you break down what you see in the defensive tackle? First team, second team, third team.
But we're not quite there yet. You know, we got some guys inside. Antoine Jackson, you know, to get a Haskell Garrett. And then Jerron Vince has really had a great camp. And then Jerron Cage is there. So you got 4 solid guys there. And then I like the young guys. I like Tyreke. I like Mike Hall is starting to make a push. And we got Noah Potter as a guy there. So we got some guys that we can hopefully plug in as we go forward.
Larry, you'd seen JT before a little bit, but seeing him on the practice field and work and stuff, what just stands out about him so far?
I think one thing about him, he came in town in great shape. And you don't come in and start and get where he's going unless you're in great shape. So he did a great job of doing that. He's got a really high football IQ, and so he really understands the football game. And he's a video guy. He's a study guy. And I think that's why he's starting to advance so fast, because he's got some things that you have to have. You want to be an elite player. But his work ethic is off the chart.
When you say high football IQ, explain to people what you're talking about there. He knows, he has a sense for what's happening in front of him. I mean,
football IQ, understanding information, understanding what you're doing, what you see, and just kind of understanding the game. You know what I mean? And I think that's where he has a huge advantage. His grandpa was a great coach and a high school coach, and I think that helped him because he would take him to the game, to see the game, understand the game, and that he's got a great vision for that.
What's realistic, do you think, for him? I mean, he obviously came in very late. Can he make an impact, and if so, how quickly?
I hope he can. I mean, he certainly has the tools to do that. Right now is how fast he can learn, how defense, moving forward, playing the scheme, and then playing at a fast pace. And people don't understand that when you come from high school, it's not as fast as they think it is until you hit the college campus. And now getting them up to speed, he's certainly working at it.
Can you discuss how he and Jack complement each other, how they're maybe not quite the same player, and that might be a good thing?
It is a good thing. Jack is a quick, very explosive player. JT is just the opposite, explosive, quick, and powerful. He can play on top of the end and the 6 technique and knock the line of scrimmage back. So he's very powerful. He's got great lower body strength. Jack is a finesse guy. He'll find a way to beat you, and he's a highly competitive guy. So that's what I like about both of them.
Could those guys be in the Rushman package this year?
Not yet. We haven't decided what we're going to do yet. How we're going to handle that package. And we got some inside guys who can rush, but we haven't gotten there yet. Minnesota's not going to allow us to get in the Rushman package, so we got to stop the run first. Yeah.
Have guys like that, bro? Like, is it hard not to dream about the possibilities of what you could do with Zach and Tyreke and Jack and JT on the field together?
Oh, no doubt. It's a nice dream, but it's one day at a time. It's one day at a time. You got to get them to the bus. You got to stay healthy, and it's a process to get that done. So, as a matter of fact, Tyreke and Javonte and Zach really have a great camp, really great camp. And those guys are my leaders now. They're setting the pace for those young guys, and that's what you want. I don't know. We don't know yet. It's a big loss. I mean, really a big loss. He's having a great winter, great summer, and right where we want him to be to make a push. And it's just sad. And he's a great leader too. So we're going to wait and see what happens down the road. He is. So he's JT big brother. So we put him in charge of JT and make sure that you get him coached up as we go. And that's been going really well. Really well.
We've had a lot of guys like Chase Young and the come in here and have been really highly touted guys. Kind of how did Jack and JT compare coming in terms of how prepared they are for the college level?
I think they're well prepared. I mean, they're good athletes. And just like all those great players, I tell people all the time, it's a process. It just doesn't happen overnight. I mean, you have to go through things every day. Everything JT and Jack are doing are learning for the first time. And that's going to take time to figure out that process to be really elite players. So I think that, you just got to hold tight and watch and see how they develop as we go forward.
Jack obviously he didn't play high school football last year. He decided not to do it. And yet, I mean, physically, he kind of came in here looking like he was ready. Can you just give your first impression of him from when he first got here physically kind of looking like he was ready to go? And
Not quite ready. He got in here. He's brought like 225 with 230. He walked in the door. He's brought 255 now, so he's put on almost 30 pounds of just muscle mass since he's been here. So it's been a transition. He didn't play football, and so he wasn't as strong when he came in. But over the summer, you know what I mean, Coach Mick and staff did a great job getting ready. I mean, he's 255 right now. Look really good. But that's the work he's put into it.
Are there worries when that happens? I mean, it doesn't happen that often, but I mean, he didn't play football, and we were sitting here all talking about him like he's supposed to be an impact player this year. Were you a little skeptical at first when he came?
I mean, expectations are very high because he's a local guy, but I think he still has to go on the field and play. He has not played football almost a year and a half now, and spring football doesn't really count. It's just a fundamental thing. So we've got to wait and see how he develops as we go forward. We got 15, 16 more days before the first game, so now we start pushing and see what happens.
Anything else for Coach?
Yeah.
Hey, what is it like going through a camp and trying to get a defensive line ready when you're playing Minnesota week one, which has one of the Big Ten's leading returning rushers, and trying to get them kind of acclimated for a Big Ten team in week one?
Well, I tell you what helps us right now, our offensive line. You know, iron sharpen iron, and they're as big as Minnesota, so that's helping us right now. And then we got some elite running backs, so that helps us when we go against each other. So I think we're getting ready to prepare for them because our offensive line is so huge and very talented. And so it's going to get us ready for it. You know? And that's a bonus for us to have that kind of height and weight that we can go against that Minnesota has.
As you watch video, you can't miss DeJuan Jones right now. I mean, just from your vantage point, what kind of strides has he made?
Hey, 360. He's really turned himself to a really great football player. He's on his way. He's very attentive. He's very powerful, very strong. He's gotten in a great shape. And so DeJuan is having a great camp. He's hard to run around. He's just so long and big. But it helped us because we're going to face that first game.
That defensive tackle spot with Pascal and Teron, do you feel like you can get those guys on the field at the same time, or do you like them both better than 3 plus?
We're training to have guys to play both positions. And now instead of having 2 players, you gain 4 players. So both guys can play nose, both guys can play 3 tech. So that gives us some more depth, and that's what we're trying to do. We'll train other guys like that because they're veteran players. They can probably handle the playbook. And so far, they've done really good. And Teron the same way. Teron can play 3 tech and nose guard if we want him to.
What are the different things they have to learn to be able to play nose guard when they've been 3 tech?
It's different. You know, 3 tech gets more one-on-one in the pass rush. You probably get more double teams than a nose guard will. A nose guard gets some combo blocks, so he's got to be more of an athletic guy to get off the block. But it's a different position. Yeah.
It seemed like he had such a great season last year, Larry. Did you see that coming with Oscar Garrett entering last year? What's he done to get even better entering this year?
The biggest thing, just staying healthy is the biggest thing. Just staying healthy going forward. He's in a good space right now, and he'll be a mark guy going into the season. Team's not going to know who he is, and we'll try to get more double teams as we go forward. But I'm really happy where he's at right now.
He got some All-American accolades last year. I'm sure you were high on him, but did that surprise how well he played last year?
I think he came back with some resilience. I think he came back and really went to work after what happened to him. I think he really refocused himself and really concentrated on being a really great football player. And that's the way he practiced, and that's the way he played. You know what I mean? So it's kind of neat to see him do that. I mean, he's really a smart player, but he gets it, understand how to play the game.
In the spring, the buzz was that Zach had stepped up his game. Have you seen that continue in preseason? I mean, just what's different about him from a year ago, from your vantage point?
As you know, the more you play, confident you become. He's more confident right now. He's playing much faster at the pace that we like him to play at. His leadership is off the charts right now. But he put the work in. He's 270. He probably played last year around 255. And so he's a bigger, stronger guy going into his junior year. So we kind of like where he's at right now.
Last fall, you guys had a lot of good things to say about Ty Hamilton. Has he kind of continued on his development? Could he be a part of that defensive tackle rotation?
Oh, no question about it. Ty. He's got a chance to be special for us. He's up to 290 right now, and that's where we want to play at the position. And he's one of the guys who's trained to play nose guard and 3 tech, because you never know when you go on a road what you're going to have. And so, but I'm really pleased where he's at right now. I really am.
One last recruiting question. I mean, JT, that's probably the most unique recruitment you've ever had, and now you've got to kind of press the reset button and focus on the 2022 class. I mean, can you just kind of walk us through kind of having to press that reset button?
Yeah, it's been a year and a half recruiting JT, and every day, every hour, just staying focused, staying with the family. And now we're after get some 2022 guys in here. We got a group of guys that we really like going forward. Like most kids, they're going to take their time and make the decision. So we're not pressing, but we think we're in good shape with all those guys, and we'll see what happens.
Did that help you with your patience, having to wait on that?
Yeah, it's not fun now. Patience is good, but it's not fun waiting. and for that last hour. You know what I mean? And wait for that last phone call.
Larry,
Yeah, when you got that
Larry,
call.
you mentioned
Yeah, go ahead.
Haskell and Tyron Vincent kind of going from 3-tech and playing nose. Have they done that? Had Haskell done that at all?
Haskell's
before?
done a little bit of it when he first came a sophomore. We had him at nose guard, but he's so smart. He can handle both positions very well, and so we're gonna play around with it. See what happens.
When you got that phone
You
call.
said he's smart enough to pick it up. Like, how does he show that? Like,
Oh no, just it's two different positions. There's two different techniques in every blitz that we do. So he has to know exactly what the nose guard does and the 3 technique does. And so we make our guys learn the whole playbook, not their position. So that helped us. So he's in the meeting room, not learning just what he does, but everybody in the defense has done. So that's kind of helped us.
Larry, how did you know that Javonte could put on all this weight?
I'd say he worked hard at it though. It wasn't easy for him. He came here at 209 pounds, I think, and not probably less than that. But he was so driven, you know, and now he's at 255 and playing really well. I mean, I can't say it again. Tyreke and Zach and Javonte has had really great camps. Really are. Their leadership's off the charts.
When did you see that really come into leadership part for?
I saw the end of spring football. You saw him trying to step up. He spent more time in the video room studying the game, and that's a sign of a guy really understand what he's got to do to get to the next level. And so I kind of like where Javonte is right now. He's going to be a good player for us.
When you got that phone call
From
JT, because I saw you anguish one time when you got a bad phone call, you know, a long time ago and stuff from I think it was a nose guy that was pretty good out of Louisiana.
Yeah.
But what is it like for a coach to win that battle?
Yeah, it was interesting. I was actually out in the yard cutting grass, and I got a text and say, "Hey, coach, I'm gonna call you in about 20 minutes." And so now I stepped on the steps and waited like a little kid, like, okay, I'll wait for this phone call. And he gets on the phone. He's a coach. Got a minute? I said, "Yeah, what's up?" And to me, it's that one line is, "Well, coach, we made our mind up and we decided what we're gonna do." And I'm about ready to pass out because you don't know where this is gonna go now, right? I don't want bad news. And all of a sudden, you say, "Hey, coach, I'm gonna be a Buckeye." I think I screamed real so loud outside. Chris come running out the door and say, "You all right? You all right? You all right?" I said, "We got JT." So that was pretty exciting. And their work too. So it's good. Great family.
Yeah.
You still got the shirt when you guys picked him up at the airport?
Yeah, I do.
Hey, is this a year that your experience comes in handy? Because it seems like you've got one or two guys in like every possible situation you can imagine. In terms of 5th year, 6th year, 7th year, 1st year, early guys, and just everybody going through different situations. It will help you be able to tap into your knowledge of what you've done in the past to help these guys.
Yeah, it helps. You know, it really does. But I think the biggest question is that who's behind them is my push. Like I got to get the next guy ready. You know what I mean? Because something can happen. So my push to get the young players ready as quick as possible because they never know when to be in the game. And so it gives me flexibility, it gives me some chance to move the dots a little bit because they're so veteran. And that's been really fun. And they can set the bar for me in practice.
Okay, we got to wrap it up with Coach. Coach, thank you very much.
you got it.
We're gonna put
Thanks, Larry.
Smith down here.
Hey, what up, y'all? How y'all doing?
How you doing?
Feeling good. Feeling good.
Everybody freaks out if you miss like one day of practice. We always have to check on that.
Yeah, I'm feeling great.
What's changed with that for you? I know you talked in the past about making sure that your body's right and all that extra time. What's that process like for you?
I just feel like it's just like self-commitment. I feel like I just had to hone in on myself, eating, just sleep. Rest is a huge part of recovery. And, I just felt like I really needed to take a next step in the process, recovering my body, and just being a professional about my body. And I think I took that step, I took that, I ran with it, and I think it's working great.
I don't remember if we talked through the spring or not, but that Clemson game just felt like probably the best one we've had.
Yeah.
And then everything was nothing.
Yeah.
Frustration for you to have to get the call that how do you do it?
Frustration. Whew. I was so mad, man. Like when I got that call, I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" Like out of all people, man. Man, but no, it was I think it was just I feel like with everything I go through, God has a plan. My mom always says that, so I don't really ever like dwell on the past. I just always take it as just a learning experience. So I just learned from it. I feel like it was just I could carry that fire I had, and that bitter taste I had, that not being with my brothers, not being in a position to help my brothers. So I could just take that put into this year to it. So I'm just whatever game I go on to this year, I'm thinking about what happened last year. You know, I'm trying to do everything I can to get back to the same place we were last year. You know, help out.
What are your personal expectations for this year? So team goals are most important, but just for you personally, especially as we were saying, like the goals you were playing last year. What are your personal expectations this year?
Personal expectations, I feel like it's the sky's the limit for me. And I feel like if I hone in on my technique, trust in the process and what Coach J says, I feel like I could just be the best in the country. We could be the best in the country. We got so much talent on the D line. Just iron sharpens iron. Even on the O line, going against Nick, Thayer, Juan, all those kids every day. That's just nothing but help. Iron sharpens iron. So I just feel like that's what's really been getting me ready for the season. I just felt like I just try to give myself like a just leave it all out there mentality. Just be relentless when I was playing. I just wanted to make sure everybody knew my name when I was done playing the game. Like, I just wanted to make sure I was making a dominant impact in the game. And, whether it was making plays or not making plays. If I was doing something that would free up my guy, that means something for me too. So that's what I was just trying to do. Just focus on the little things, that will amount to the big things. And I just think it really went well with me. So I'm just gonna keep doing that. Just keep turning, keep putting one foot in front of the other, and just trying to just put one in the bank every day. Just get better every day, get better every game. Improve every game. Just show the country for Ohio State.
Sorry, where did you watch the national championship game, and what was that like?
I was in my hotel room. I was pretty cooped up in the hotel room. I was just sitting there with mad. You can imagine, I was just sitting there. I couldn't really do nothing. But,
how much did you think, even during that game, this is going to drive me, and I'm going to be so motivated for this?
It definitely drove me. Definitely put a fire behind me. I didn't want to. I felt like it wasn't right leaving out like that. I just felt like I just had something to prove. I felt like I had more to give to the program, and I feel like that I could go out there and we got another chance at this. We got a great team this year, and I feel like I could be a part of it. And I could definitely make a big help, a big push to get to where we were last year. And I'm not gonna go out like that. I didn't even play. I gotta see it. I was just telling my teammates, I'm like, man, I didn't even get to see the atmosphere. Like, I didn't even get to see what it was like. So I gotta get back. I got to.
If you had been able to play, would turning pro have been a real option?
It was a thought. If I could have put some good games in front of me, but like I said, God has a plan. Like that's what my mom tells me, and I think it was for the best of me. Just to get some more experience under my belt. I'm new to playing football since my junior year in high school, so I just felt like getting some more experience wasn't a bad thing for me. Honing on my technique and getting better at my technique. I wasn't the best that I felt like I could be. Like y'all said, I showed up the last part of the season, so I wanted to put on display the whole season. That I could be dominant and I could be a force to the reckon with. So that's what drove my decision.
I want to get your take on the two freshmen, Jack and JT.
Yeah, I think like I said, the sky's the limit for them. All the tools, all the tangibles that they need to be a great pass rusher, and defensive end at the next level right here. All they got to do, is just hone in. They work hard. They're great kids. They're cool to be around. I just think they're gonna be great. So they're working hard right now.
Tyreke, this defense is going to have all new linebacker corps. There's new guys in the secondary. As a defensive line, do you guys feel like pressure or just like want to you guys have a lot of returners there to kind of be like a key for the defense?
No, it's no pressure because a lot of the guys that are starting on the linebacker core we've been here with. Taraja is one of the guys that's on the linebacker core. Like I've been with Taraja, since my freshman year. Like a lot of those guys and the guys that are coming in, the new guys, they're real mature. They've been really mature about the situation that they've been put in. So I think You know, they go hard. You know, they work hard, really hard, and that's something I noticed from them. You know, if you could have that hard working mentality, you know, and always want to get better. I feel like if you hungry to get better, then it's the sky's the limit. I feel like it's nothing that can hold you back, only yourself.
So if you're in a sense what you guys are getting, a lot of pressure on you. It's not working maybe if it's sacks.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What's the breaking point to get there?
You got to win your one-on-ones quicker. I feel like you can't. A lot of people want to blame like other things, but I feel like at that point you can just look at yourself like, what do you do? What can you do to get better? What can you do to get around your opponent faster? So that's what I did. You know, with myself, I seen like a lot of like my pressure rate, but I'm like it's not equivalent to like what the sacks. So I'm like it's something I'm doing wrong. You know, whether I'm not hitting the hands right, you know, I'm not bending the edge, I'm not bursting. And that's something I need to work on. So like that's why I've been trying to work on, you know, fixing. So we could all turn those, you know, those pressures into sacks.
When you guys are in the room and talking to them, I don't know, what was the sense? Were you satisfied with the pressure rate? Were you getting criticized for not getting sacks?
No, we never satisfied. You know, we're always trying to get better. You know, we're always hungry to get better. But it was just like, man, like it was a lot of just missed sacks. So we just. You know, just got to go out there and get better. That's what we told ourselves. Like, man, we can't be sad, and, you know, that we're not getting the sacks. Like, I mean, we still doing something right. So all we got to do is, you know, fix it's the little things that, you know, amount to the big things. So maybe it was like you got around them, but you didn't burst to the quarterback, or you didn't stick your hand out to get a sack fumble, like when he had put his hand back to throw it. So, like, it's just little things like that that make, when you look at the pressure rate, it makes you think about, like, am I doing everything right? Am I doing all the little things right? You know, is there something else I can work on? Because, I mean, you know, I always said, like, I talked to Chase, and, you know, Chase wouldn't miss the sacks, you know, if he was out there. So I just told myself, like, man, I'm not about to make any excuse for myself, you know, because I'm not getting there. So, yeah, that's not an excuse for me not to get the sack. Yeah, I'm not letting that be something I'm going to stick with. So we got to turn those into sacks. Hard worker, great player. I think the sky's the limit for him too. He's been working really hard, you know, doing really good. He's very smart on the field. Teron knows like mostly where everybody's supposed to be at on the team line. He's very helpful, like not only to the D tackles, but, you know, even I can ask him a question about some things. He always tell me, you know, he's like one of my best friends on the D line. So, you know, we got that connection. I think he's gonna have a great season. I know the best version of Teron. You know, I think he's at that best version of himself. You know, but it's always you know, you can always get better. I think he's getting better every day, but he's definitely at a real high motor right now. And I think what y'all gonna see from the season real good. He's been working hard. You know, he's smart on the field. He plays fast. You know, he's strong. And I think he's gonna be real good.
Two more questions for Tyreke. Tyreke, just from an offensive line standpoint, they when we watch them, they look intimidating, giant. They've obviously shifted positions a little bit. When you all go against them in practice, what do you see about that formula? Having the tackles, they are moving the guard. What do you see about that that's effective for them? Obviously, it's got to be hard to play against them.
Yeah.
What do you see about it at work?
I look at them the same way. I mean, I just go out there. I think the lineup with that lineup is going to be real tough on a lot of teams, you know, because there's a lot of size in there. You know, that you can get all those guys working together, you know, working and on the same page is real scary. But they do a tremendous job helping us get to where we need to be, like just rushing. You know, I can't never you know, just take it easy on them. Like every rep against them, you know, is a game rep. So I feel like every rep I take at them, I act like I'm in the game. So I feel like it's helped me very much to be the player I am, you know, just to get better at my technique, just to go against those players. We're going against All-Americans every day. So, like, when you see, you know, other players, it's just like second nature to do it, you know, because we've been doing it the whole time. It's like practice. So I say, Coach Jay says practice like you play. So, you know, when I'm out there, I'm trying to, you know, practice like I play against them.
Last question here for Tyreke.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right over there, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. But everybody, I feel like to be a great player, you can't just spend time in the training room. You got to take care of your body, whether whether you're not hurt or whether you are or have been dealing with health issues. So, just to be, you want to be proactive, and just always take care of your body. So, I mean, all guys are, in and out the training room. You got to use all the modalities in there, to get your body to the 100%. If not, I mean, you want to be be performing. It's too hard of a game. We going out there banging every day, so we got to be in the training room and stuff like getting our bodies right. So I just think that's a big part of it. It's never going to stop. We're always going to be in, just trying to get our bodies right. Try to get treatment, just do anything we could do to just have an edge.
All right, Tyreke, thank you.
Appreciate y'all.
Look at him. Folks, we have Javonte Jean-Baptiste to your right and Zach Harrison right in front of you.
Me? I tried to do it with Javonte, but they wouldn't let me, so. They said y'all wouldn't. They said y'all wouldn't. They said y'all wouldn't know what to ask, but I felt like y'all would come up with some questions for the both of us.
We had you for an hour in Chicago,
Zach, yep.
Indianapolis. So.
Yeah. I mean, he's really mature. It seems he came in and knew what he wanted to do, knew what he wanted to accomplish. In the workouts and all the runs we had, I could tell that, he doesn't act like a freshman. He acts like he's like a veteran guy almost. And when it's time to the field, he's still a freshman. He's gonna make freshman mistakes and do freshman things, but he got better every day. And I feel like that's where the stripe came off. Well, who's like? JT's big and strong and athletic. Those are probably his biggest aspects. He's still a freshman, so he's still growing into his body. He's got a lot of room to fill out, and it's going to be a huge asset for the Buckeyes in the next coming years.
Coach Johnson was saying that gain 15 pounds, stronger, bigger, but you're just as quick. Why did you want to gain the weight, and how difficult is it to put on 15 pounds and still?
It's not that hard. We lift and run every single day with Coach Mick. So as I'm gaining the weight, I'm still running, working on my speed mechanics and my speed technique, and that's where the quickness continues. And the idea behind gaining weight is Coach Mick always says that I have a really big frame, and I can hold a lot of weight. So what we decided was put as much weight on him where he still looks smooth and where he's still quick and athletic and agile, and that's what we did.
This is like the ideal weight for you, 6'6", 272.
Yeah, I feel pretty good at this weight.
Zach, coming out of the spring, you were one of those breakthrough guys that Coach Day talked about as really making that jump. Have you continued that during camp? Do you feel like you're still progressing that way?
Yeah, I'm getting better and better every day.
And in terms of the entire line, the last decade you've had the Bosa's, you've had Chase. Could this be the best line, or at least as good a line as Ohio State's had because of the depth on this unit?
I think so. Yeah, I think this could be one of the best defensive lines we've seen at Ohio State. And that's saying something because we've had some good defensive lines.
Tyreke wasn't able to play in the national championship game. He was just talking about how frustrating that was, obviously, especially coming off maybe his best game against Clemson. How excited are you about Tyreke Smith this season?
I'm real excited. Tyreke's always been a good ball player, and he's just getting better and better. And I feel like the older he gets, the more mature he gets, and the more goal focused he is, and he's locked in on what he wants to achieve. And I feel like once Tyreke's locked in, nobody can stop him. Oh, I mean, yeah, we gel together. We've been playing together since I was a freshman. For 3 years, we have pretty good what's the word I'm looking for? Chemistry together. And it's almost like I can look over and know what he's thinking. He can do the same, vice versa. Thank you. It's a little hot. I got it. Well, I mean, yeah. And the lights is bright too, so yeah. Nothing. This is who I've always been. I just didn't always give you all the insight to it. Like I remember during recruiting, everybody always would be like, "Yeah, Zach's a nice, quiet guy. He's calm and collected." I'm like, "Well, if you ask anybody who actually knows me, quiet would be the last word they use to describe me." So it's just no, not even that. I'm just being myself more, being more comfortable in my skin.
Coach Day even talked about that. He talked about it. He said when you were being recruited, he didn't know what to make of you. And he said now that he knows you, it's like two different guys.
Yeah, Coach Mick always says the same thing. He's like, "I hated you in recruiting." He would show up and wouldn't talk and just look and just mope around. I'm like, "Coach, I didn't like recruiting. I didn't know anybody, so I'm not just gonna be this around people I don't know. It just might be a little off-putting."
Is this the first year you really feel like you can be yourself inside the program and even out?
No.
Okay.
No, I've been like this, the D-line room definitely has seen this side of Zach, and I feel like a lot of my close friends of the team have seen this side of Zach, and now it's really just you guys are the only ones who haven't seen this side. So I'm seeing the real Zach, not this side.
Being a leader, though, you feel compelled to like step up and even talk more. I mean, amongst your fellow players, etc.
Yeah, and it's definitely something I'm continuing to work on. My leadership skills I have always have room to improve, and there's things like I said, being more vocal as opposed to just being a lead by example guy, which I've always kind of been, and that's something that I'm working on every day.
Another thing, Zach, how do you put on 20 pounds? What's the key for a big guy like you who's already pretty big?
You gotta eat a lot of food.
Give me an example of what you had to increase, so to speak.
Eat a lot of food.
Yeah, but like what? I mean, not just bad stuff, right?
I like pizza, buffalo chicken wraps. My dad makes pretty good chili. He drops some of that off sometimes. So really just eat everything and anything I get a hand on. And with the working out we do with Coach Mick, it's in the way my body works, it's not going to be necessarily like bad weight. It's always going to end up shaping up a little bit. There's definitely times where I get a little big and Coach Mick's like, you got maybe watch what you eat a little bit, but mostly really just eating anything I can get my hands on.
But the way Coach Mick has brought it along, I mean, the process you guys have had, you feel as fast as ever?
Yeah.
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 Is that odd to you that, you're carrying around a little kid on your back, but you're
Not really. I mean, ever since like the 7th grade, I've been gaining weight and getting faster, even because my track time used to always decrease and I would always get bigger every season. So, I mean, it's just kind of something that I feel like people think weight, they just think of like fat, when I've been gaining muscle and more fast twitch muscle, and that's what's making me more explosive and faster.
You guys probably saw it coming with Haskell Barrett last year, but we didn't see it coming. If you think back to your expectations for Haskell coming in the last year and becoming an All-American, did that at all take you by surprise?
I mean, no, Haskell's always been a ball player, and I feel like he's matured a lot. I can tell by the way he talks to the room and talks to the unit and talks to the team. And like I said with Tyreke, his goals realigned, and once he saw how to do, he went and got it. And so I'm proud of Haskell.
Coach Johnson was talking about you stepped up as a leader. We knew that you're a big fan media base. That said a lot. And Tyreke Smith stepped up as a leader. You also said Javonte Jean-Baptiste stepped up as a leader. What do you see from Javonte, both from the leadership role and on the field so far?
Yeah, Javonte has been playing the best ball I've seen since he's been here. Today I think he had like 2 sacks at practice, and that's always something that you applaud when guys are going against the best. And off the field, he's definitely also felt more comfortable in his voice and his experience. Because Javonte, y'all might not all know, but Javonte's had a journey here at Ohio State that not all you guys know, and it's definitely he's been helping the freshmen out, telling them just stick to it. Like, I get it now. You might not feel as confident. You might not feel like you're ready for this, but you are. Just stick to it. It's a process. Not everybody comes in and is ready to be a starter for draft pick day 1. That's like 1 in a million. So it's a process.
Against.
once you get deep credentials?
Coach J always says that's man on man. You know, when you stop in the run, that's really just who wants it more. Their job is to move me, and my job is to not get moved, and that's something that I kind of take pride in. You know, just being an anchor on the edge and fitting all my techniques well and making sure the ball doesn't run through my gap.
But you've also, from video I've watched, you've been relentless. I mean, you don't just.
Huh?
Where does that come from, Zach?
I mean, I've been running the ball like that since high school. It's fun to me, and that's one thing I've always been good at is running. So I mean, yes. if that's part of the game that I need to do, I'm going to do it. And a lot of times, it's kind of fun for me. You know, like even in practice, like a receiver will catch a pass and try to run. I'm like, I'm gonna see if I can chase him down. So that's kind of something that I just do, and it's carried on to games and helped me make a lot of plays that way.
What is the biggest thing that JT and Jack Sawyer are going to notice when they play in a real college football game that's going to open their eyes? I mean, you've been through it. I mean, what's the thing? I don't know if you warn them about it or you consult with them about it, but what's going to be different for them?
I mean, they're going to be nervous. That's probably really the only thing. Like, I remember my first game, all the older guys like Chase and Jay Sean and BB, they were all like, Zach, you think you got it, but you're going to step on the field and you're going to see all the fans looking at you, and you're going to get nervous. And you're going to feel like one play with 25 plays, you're going to be out of breath, gassed. And that's something that I tell them when the game time comes around, that like, once you get your nerves under control, it's just football. Once you get that first hit under your belt, it's just going back to practice, you know, and that's when you just have fun and go make plays. A lot of film study, a lot of Joe's with Coach Jay and working on how we eliminate any of the extra movement that we were doing and like any extra steps and any hesitation and maybe flipping our hips. We crossed our foot a little bit and that pushed us out wide, and we were able to touch the quarterback as opposed to getting a clean sack. And it's small details when you're working with what 0.2 seconds of getting the ball off. So it's just, you know, Coach Jay being a perfectionist and him making sure that we're on our P's and Q's, and that's with each other too. Like during the reps, I'll talk to all the ends and all the D linemen about, you know, maybe you gotta tighten down, or maybe you gotta try this, that, or the third to get there instead of just getting a pressure.
Last question for Zach.
Oh, I don't got my card up here though. My fault. Sorry, I was looking. My card's not up here with my stuff on it. Yeah.
His card.
My card. I got my card up here.
His card. NIL came up and then.
I started looking. I didn't see.
It's in your pocket.
What's in your pocket?
It's in your pocket.
It's in your pocket.
No, I know it. I'm just making sure they can see it. Oh.
You're in the clear, Mike.
There we go. I don't know what I was about to do with it. I was gonna find it upstairs at lunch and be like, "Dang, I totally forgot to put it up there." But it's cool now. I'm sorry. What were you saying? Yeah, I mean, recently it's been we haven't been doing too much of it because we've been in camp and we've been locked in on the season of football. But I've got some big things in the works. You know, hopefully I'll be able to drop my brand coming out after camp, and I'll be excited to show y'all all that. And my management team has a bunch of stuff in the works, and you know, I'm excited about what's going on with NIL. No, you got to keep the main thing. You know, all the NIL stuff comes off your production on the field, and if you don't produce in the field, you're not going to make a lot of deals. So, yep.
Thanks, Zach.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Zach.
I'm going to lead this group.